Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand at the crossroads of a world defined by rapid change, evolving perspectives, and complex realities. We are constantly bombarded with images of perfection, of flawless beauty, seamless success, and unblemished lives. We look in the mirror of society and see the idealized version of who we are supposed to be. But what happens when we look closer and notice the cracks, the imperfections? What happens when we embrace them instead of hiding them away? The title of today's speech, Cracks in the Mirror, Rediscovering Truth and Imperfection, invites us to explore the beauty and wisdom found in the flawed, the broken, and the incomplete. It challenges us to redefine truth, not as something perfectly packaged, but as something deeply rooted in our shared experiences, struggles, and growth. Key point 1, the illusion of perfection. In our modern world, perfection is often presented as the ideal. We are constantly surrounded by images of flawless beauty, effortless success, and picture-perfect lifestyles, often curated to appear seamless. Social media feeds, advertisements, and even our day-to-day interactions often convey the idea that to be happy, accepted, or worthy, we must fit into a mold of perfection. This vision of perfection is deeply embedded in our culture, creating an unspoken pressure to conform to a standard that is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. However, perfection, when viewed closely, is an illusion. It's something that is carefully constructed and rarely reflects the true reality of our lives. While it may look beautiful from a distance, it doesn't capture the struggles, the failures, or the behind-the-scenes effort that are inherent to the human experience. The pursuit of perfection can lead us to feel inadequate because no matter how hard we try, there is always something more to achieve, something else to fix. It creates a cycle of comparison, self-doubt, and frustration as we measure ourselves against an unattainable ideal. What's more, the idea of perfection often results in a false sense of control. We try to manage every detail, to perfect every aspect of ourselves and our lives in hopes that it will bring us happiness or fulfillment. But this desire for control often leaves us feeling trapped as we constantly chase after something that is elusive and fleeting. Rather than feeling empowered, we become enslaved to the notion that we must be perfect in order to be valued, accepted, or successful. The cracks we see in the mirror, therefore, are not imperfections to hide or fix. They are signs of our real lived experiences, the places where life has happened to us. These cracks remind us that perfection is not the point of life. Life is not about fitting into a box of flawlessness, but rather about embracing the journey with all its challenges, imperfections, and complexities. It's through these cracks that we begin to see who we truly are, beyond the false image of perfection that the world often demands. Key point 2, imperfection as a path to authenticity. Instead of continually striving to meet the unrealistic standards of perfection, we can choose to embrace our imperfections as a natural and beautiful part of who we are. In a world that often values flawlessness, this may seem counterintuitive. However, it's through embracing our flaws and vulnerabilities that we can begin to uncover a deeper, more authentic sense of self. We are not defined by the perfect image we present to the world, but by the complexities, the contradictions, and the challenges that shape us. When we accept ourselves as we are, imperfections included, we give ourselves permission to be real. We stop hiding behind the facade of perfection and start living more authentically. Our imperfections become part of our story. Whether it's a mistake we've made, a weakness we've struggled with, or a failure we've experienced, these elements of our lives give us depth. They're what make us human. Without these flaws, we would be nothing more than an artificial version of ourselves, disconnected from the true experience of living. Furthermore, embracing imperfection allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. Perfection often creates distance between people because it sets an impossible standard to which no one can truly relate. When we show up as our real selves, imperfections and all, we create space for others to do the same. Our vulnerability becomes a bridge, inviting others to share their own struggles, flaws, and authentic selves. In this way, imperfections can foster empathy, compassion, and stronger, more meaningful relationships. In a sense, our flaws allow us to be more present in the world. By releasing the pressure to be perfect, we free ourselves to truly experience life as it is, not as an idealized version of what we think it should be. We can pursue passions without fear of failure, express ourselves without the weight of judgment, and interact with others without the expectation that we must be flawless to be accepted. In the end, it is the freedom we find in accepting our imperfections that brings us closer to the truth of who we really are. Key point 3, the wisdom found in brokenness. When we shift our perspective and begin to see imperfection as an opportunity for growth, we start to realize that there is a profound wisdom embedded in our brokenness. Every crack, every flaw, every mistake we encounter can be a lesson waiting to be learned. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our failures or shortcomings are just things to be ashamed of, to hide away or ignore. But in reality, they are often the very moments where the most valuable insights are born. It's through our struggles that we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. These cracks in the mirror serve as mirrors themselves, reflecting not just what is broken, but also what can be rebuilt. Just as a shattered piece of pottery can be reassembled to form something uniquely beautiful, our lives too can be pieced back together after hardship. In moments of imperfection, we often find the greatest clarity. It is when we face difficulty or fall short of expectations that we are forced to look inward, to confront our weaknesses, and to discover the resilience within us that we might not have known we had. This process of introspection can reveal hidden strengths, talents, and capabilities we never thought we possessed. Each time we stumble and rise again, we add another layer of wisdom and understanding to our lives. Our ability to learn from mistakes, to adapt, and to navigate uncertainty builds character. What once appeared to be a flaw or a failure becomes a stepping stone, a crucial part of our evolution. This is where the true beauty of imperfection lies, in its power to shape us, to mold us into more thoughtful, compassionate, and adaptable individuals. Furthermore, our imperfections can help us develop empathy and compassion for others. When we recognize that everyone carries their own burdens, struggles, and imperfections, we learn not to judge others harshly for their flaws. We become more understanding, more open-hearted, and more willing to lend a hand to those who are navigating similar challenges. This sense of shared humanity creates a collective strength, a community bound not by perfection, but by the mutual recognition of our struggles and our growth. In this way, imperfection becomes not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our capacity to adapt, to grow, and to ultimately emerge stronger. Rather than seeing our cracks as something to fix, we can view them as part of our journey toward wholeness, understanding that the wisdom gained from brokenness often leads us to the most profound truths about life, connection, and ourselves. Key point 4, embracing imperfection as a source of strength. Embracing imperfection not only frees us from the pressure to meet unrealistic standards, but it also offers us a unique source of strength that we may never have realized we possessed. There's a remarkable power in recognizing that we don't have to be perfect to succeed or be valued. When we allow ourselves to be imperfect, we create space for resilience and adaptability. Life doesn't follow a linear path, and challenges are inevitable. The cracks in our lives, the setbacks, mistakes, and perceived failures teach us to bend, not break. They equip us with the ability to recover, to stand tall even when things fall apart, and to rebuild ourselves after adversity. This ability to embrace imperfection fosters a mindset that sees setbacks not as roadblocks but as opportunities to innovate and evolve. Imperfection often leads to creativity and resourcefulness. When we are not locked into the rigid pursuit of perfection, we become more open to new ideas and solutions. Imperfections force us to think outside the box, to adapt in ways that we wouldn't have if everything were perfect. In this sense, our flaws become the very driving forces behind innovation, both personally and collectively. Moreover, embracing imperfection allows us to be kinder to ourselves. We stop expecting perfection, and instead, we acknowledge the value of effort, progress, and learning. We understand that growth doesn't happen in a straight line. It's a winding journey full of missteps and recalibrations. When we accept this truth, we stop seeing ourselves as failures when we fall short. We recognize that failure is not a dead end, but a part of the process. This shift in perspective builds resilience because we no longer fear imperfection. We welcome it as an essential part of our growth and evolution. As we embrace imperfection, we also learn to value the process over the outcome. The journey of self-discovery, growth, and transformation is often far more meaningful than achieving an idealized destination. The effort, the persistence, and the lessons learned along the way are what truly shape our character. Just as a broken object can be mended through the art of kintsugi, where gold is used to repair cracks and imperfections, our experiences, when viewed through the lens of acceptance, add depth, beauty, and strength to our lives. The imperfections themselves can become the source of our greatest strength, leading us to a more fulfilling and authentic existence. In the end, by embracing the imperfections within us, we cultivate a deep inner strength that is unshakable. We no longer define ourselves by a perfect exterior, but by the resilience and wisdom we gain from the cracks, the scars, and the broken pieces. These imperfections are not signs of weakness, but symbols of our ability to rise above adversity, to create beauty from brokenness, and to continually evolve into stronger, more authentic versions of ourselves. In conclusion, the journey toward rediscovering truth in imperfection is not about rejecting the flaws we see in ourselves, but about embracing them as integral parts of our story. The cracks in the mirror, those imperfections, are not obstacles to our happiness or self-worth. Instead, they are reminders of our humanity, our growth, and our resilience. By accepting and even celebrating these imperfections, we unlock a deeper sense of authenticity, wisdom, and strength. We no longer need to strive for an unattainable perfection, but instead we can focus on embracing the richness of our experiences, the beauty in our brokenness, and the lessons we learn along the way. In this acceptance, we discover a truer, more powerful version of ourselves, one that is defined not by flawlessness, but by the courage to be real, to grow, and to find strength in our imperfection. Let us not fear the cracks in the mirror, for it is in them that we truly find the light. Thank you.